Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I would love to talk about something a bit controversial that, shouldn't be. It shouldn't be embarrassing. And honestly, it should have been included in sex education years ago. But I'm guessing you didn't learn about it either. Let's talk about lube. Because somewhere along the line, it's like a lot of people absorb this idea that if you need lubrication, something's wrong, right? Maybe you're not turned on enough. Maybe your body isn't working properly. Maybe your partner isn't attractive to you. Maybe you're getting older. And none of that is true. In fact, one of the biggest things I wish adults understood is that lubrication and desire are not the same thing. And today we're going to talk about why. So welcome back to my regular listeners, and welcome back to you new peeps who have stumbled upon Desire Dialogues. This is our Sex Ed for Adults series, and I'm really excited for you to be here. Wicked interesting. I was looking at the stats for YouTube, and the majority of our listeners are actually 65 plus, and I was so pleased. So I also noticed that 99% of those who watch are not subscribed. If you want, hit that sub button, come back to us and learn a little more, right? So here's the thing. I think a lot of people were quietly taught that good sex just kind of happens naturally and your body should automatically cooperate. And then if it doesn't, well, maybe something's wrong. But our bodies aren't machines. Our bodies are responsive and they can be influenced, right? Influenced by hormones, medications, stress. Did you drink enough water? Menstrual cycles, menopause, breastfeeding, anxiety, sleep, and timing. And then sometimes just life, right? So if your body isn't producing lubrication the way you think it, air quotes, should, that's just information. It doesn't need to signal failure. So wetness and arousal are not always the same thing. It's like we weren't taught that you can be mentally turned on and not experience much lubrication. You can experience lubrication without feeling particularly turned on. And those things just don't always line up because arousal isn't just one thing. It is numerous, right? It's hormonal, it's neurological, it's emotional, and it's physical. And our bodies are so beautifully complicated, right? So, which means lubrication isn't some test that you pass or fail. So we don't make life harder on purpose, all right? Let's think about it like this, okay? So no one says, if you really loved cooking, you wouldn't use oven mitts. Or if you were truly committed to hiking, you wouldn't wear good shoes. If you really enjoyed driving, you wouldn't need power steering. Do you see how ridiculous those are? It's like tools exist to make our experiences better, not to prove whether you're worthy of having them. And lube is no different, right? It doesn't mean sex is broken. It means you're making the experience more comfortable, pleasurable, and enjoyable, which sounds pretty freaking smart to me, I personally use lubrication. I love it. I'm on medications, especially some SSRIs that will definitely affect your lubrication level, the natural lubrication. Also, too, it's if you're taking allergy medication, right now it's June in, New England, right? So allergies everywhere. When you take an Allegra, what happens is it dries out your mucous membrane, all right? Not just the one in your nose, the one in the vagina, because they're made up of the same exact tissue. How neat is that, right? So more comfort usually means more pleasure. And that's what I really hope you realize today. When something's uncomfortable, even slightly, your body notices. And maybe not consciously, but your nervous system notices. And then what if your body starts to associate intimacy with discomfort, with friction, with irritation, all right? And then over time, you may start to brace, right? You may not, be like, yeah, I'm really excited about this. And it's not because you don't want intimacy, but because your body paid attention, because that's its job. And your body isn't trying to sabotage you. It's trying to protect you and say, if I'm going to want this and be cool with this, I need this to be comfortable and slippery, right? So, normalization, my friends. Needing lube is normal. Using lube is normal. Wanting more comfort is normal. And honestly, many couples who have great sex use lube. Not because they have to, because why wouldn't you want something that helps an experience feel better? So this isn't about fixing something, it's about enhancing something. And the bigger conversation underneath all of this is a big question. Why do we treat pleasure like something people should earn? Like, why do we assume discomfort is just part of that package, right? Ugh. Another is like, okay, why do we make people feel like they should just power through instead of making things easier? Because we don't really do that anywhere else, right? And we certainly don't hand out medals for unnecessary suffering. So I did a episode a while back on the different types of lubes and their benefits. So go ahead, search bar that, and I hope you can find the right lube for you. And it really is specific. There is different lubes that are good for different things, which is really cool. So I'm going to break down the types of lube, the science, who's to use it, who's not, what type of play it's best for. And, if no one ever told you this before, let me be the one to say it. Needing lube doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're old. It doesn't mean you're unattractive. It doesn't mean you're not turned on enough. It means you're human. And sometimes human bodies appreciate a little extra support, right? Lube was not made just to make lube. It was made for a reason, right? And my friends, my fellow sexual beings, my fellow sexual adults, you deserve to know that pleasure isn't something you have to struggle for. And remember, your body isn't broken, your questions aren't weird, and you're definitely not the only one wondering these things, because most of us never received sex education for adulthood, right? It's like, and so, my friends, until next time, stay compassionate with yourself, stay curious. Remember, pleasure is your birthright, and you're allowed to use lube if you need lube. And if you've ever found yourself, asking is this normal, or wondering why desire seems so complicated, I created a free resource to help you understand yourself a little bit better. The goal isn't to force yourself to be different. It's to become curious about how you work, how your desire works. So you can find the link in the show notes, and I will see you next time. And please give it a rate, give it a review, give it a sub. It just helps others out and helps us find it. So I really appreciate you being here. And until next time, we're going to get into it.